My boyfriend got upset with me because he had roaches in his TV. So a week ago I, 22, found out my TV was broken and the TV repairman said that the cost to repair would be too much and just to get a new TV. My boyfriend, 23, mostly stays at my apartment, so I asked him if he could bring his TV. It was at his mom's house and I was not thinking. Backstory. His mom's apartment is infested with roaches. They are in the fridge, on the countertops, on the walls. I even saw maggots crawling on the floor, and there were 2 infants walking around them. Every time I go there I always keep my purse on me, but I'm very respectful and his family likes me. He told me about his family not putting in much work to get rid of them, and how when he was sleeping over there, he would move the fridge and there would be piles of them under scurrying away. Okay, so he brings the TV and everything is cool. We are watching the new season of You. He has to be up by 4 a.m. for work, but I would be off from school, so I had planned to take my dog out one last time, then take care of some assignments, and study for an exam I have coming up. Around this time he is asleep and I am just getting back in from walking my dog. I walk in my room and see 2 roaches, both different sizes, next to her food and water bowl. I scream and instantly kill them. But it doesn't feel right because I normally get a certain type, the German roach I believe, and they are not often, and because they were different sizes and together I start stressing and start doing a little investigation. My boyfriend is completely unaware as he is sleeping and I'm using my flashlight from my phone to look around. By her bowls are a trash can, and my dog's basket which contains her dog food and treats. I get a little closer and see little micro roaches crawling around the basket on the outside. I immediately get the raid and go to work. There were about 4 of them. Now I'm really paranoid and my skin is crawling. In front of my dog's basket is his TV. Seeing those baby roaches just didn't sit right with me, so I start doing more investigating. Another backstory. He once brought a book bag with his Xbox in it and set it on my couch. Moments later, we end up killing about 5 roaches on the couch and they were all different sizes. I knew they were from his bag because he also has a roach infestation in his car, but they got in from his car not being sealed all the way, so his car is a heat source until he can get that fixed. So, I remember him telling me months ago about his mom's roach problem being so bad they were in his Xbox because of the heat. So I start looking at the TV. It's about 12 a.m. at this point and I start looking through the TV vents and end up seeing about 2 emerge. I am able to kill one, but the other ends up escaping back into the TV vents and now I'm even more paranoid. I'm walking around the TV spraying raid around the perimeter of the TV and dog basket. At this point I'm really exhausted and not in the mood to play hide and seek with roaches, so I quietly take his TV in the living room. But wait, my snake's enclosure is also in the living room and she has a heat lamp and mat, and I'm learning that roaches like heat, but I don't want them making a home in her cage. So I end up sitting in the living room in the dark with my flashlight waiting for more to emerge from the TV. I figure maybe I can just kill them until I don't see them anymore, but that grows old quickly and I don't want my roommates to come out and see me sitting in the dark in the living room with a shoe in my hand. Now I figure I should just tell him and he will be understanding and we will come up with a solution. It's about 1:30, and I'm standing in front of him while he's asleep practicing how I should say it with no judgment and being respectful. Me. Adam, not his name. Adam. Sleeping peacefully. Me. Adam. Adam opens his eyes slightly. Me. Promise me you won't be upset, Adam. What's going on? Me. There are roaches coming out of TV. Sad face. Adam. Sighs angrily and stares at the wall looking upset. Me. I didn't know what else to do, they were crawling all over Edna's basket. Adam. So you woke me up knowing I got to go to work because of some little bugs. Me. What else was I supposed to do, Adam? Go to sleep. Long story short. We had a quick argument and he ends up taking his stuff and TV back to his mom's and now he's mad at me. Don't allow him to bring electronics over anymore. Period. They are all infested. Honestly, you should likely be worried about bed bugs too if it's that bad, and those are insanely expensive to treat if it ever works. I honestly wouldn't let him stay over or bring anything over anymore. If they are doing absolutely nothing to deal with an infestation, it will only get worse. Your boyfriend is comfortable living with vermin like it's normal. There are no bugs in my house. I once got an infestation of pantry moths off some fruit and eradicated them in a month. Your state of alarm at having insects in your home is normal. Him being casual about bugs running around is icky. You let that guy close to you and press up against him. What if a roach crawls out of his hair or clothes onto you? Ew. How do you date someone that spreads roaches everywhere they go? Lol. Yay, after the Xbox I wouldn't have brought anything from his house to yours. Those creatures move fast. He'll be hurt for a while, but please tell him not to bring anything else over. They can be in his car and on his clothes too, by the way. Basically it seems that every time he came over in the past, he inadvertently was dropping bugs in your place. He must be so ashamed. Poor guy, just give him some space. When he comes back tell him he needs to pick a place and stay there, he can't be bringing the animal kingdom into your place all the time. You'll be constantly fighting roaches and having to use that bug spray barrier thing along with several other pest control methods. It seems he's too comfortable with the roaches, but you definitely should not be. You're worried about electronics. How about call CPS and get those children the protection they need? How do people live like this? I don't think you guys are compatible when it comes to hygiene, and someone get those babies out of there. Your boyfriend is disgusting and has to have some type of disorder to live like that. Frankly, your casualness about his infestation in his car is off-putting as well. Holy shit. I can't even imagine. I would never let him bring anything else over again. What the hell? Also, someone needs to call CPS on his family. Kids should not have to be subjected to that nastiness. Babe, you're dating someone who literally brings biblical pestilence upon your home. Hello? Nasty. My boyfriend likes to mess with me. Update, please read. So I decided walk today to just listen to music and think. My boyfriend asked for location updates. Fair enough. He wants to know I'm safe. Halfway through my walk I start crossing the road at a light. There's a guy crossing from the other side and I start to walk around him just like normal. But all of a sudden he runs at me and he tackles me to the ground in the middle of crossing the street. I knocked my head and my AirPods flew out. I realized it was my boyfriend as soon as I looked at him, but I was in complete shock. I yelled at him and said something along the lines of "What the fuck are you doing?" to which he apologized, laughed at me, then told me he was trying to teach me a lesson not to walk alone and show me how easy I could be kidnapped. He explained he had been following me since I started my walk. I had been walking for 40 minutes. As soon as I told him I was leaving, he drove to my house and was about a block behind me the whole time until he said he was able to run and catch up. He followed me for 40 minutes and tackled me to the ground. What the actual fuck is that? He asked me why I hadn't just seen him tonight instead of walking, which made me so confused since I literally texted him an hour before my walk to ask him to hang out and he never replied. Yesterday he mentioned being busy today and also a little before I asked him what was up, and he said he had work to finish, so I assumed he didn't answer because he couldn't come out, which is why I went on a walk. I told him I asked him to see me and he never responded, and he said that I should have asked more or invited him to the walk. If you commented already, I've read through them. I had been considered everything but didn't want to jump to any conclusions too soon. But after today I actually can't process this situation. Original post. This is hard to explain but I'll try my best. Basically my boyfriend really likes messing with me. A few examples would be he tells me he caught me in a lie, but never tells me what the lie is. Or he'll let me think he's mad at me without clarifying he's not. A few days ago we were playing a game and I asked for the answer after I got it wrong, which he refused to tell me the correct one. This for some reason really set me off. The situation did not warrant my reaction, and it wasn't about the question itself but just the fact that despite seeing it really bothered me, he would just laugh and continue to not tell me. I asked him why he does it if he can see it upsets me, and he just laughed and said he likes messing with me and seeing me confused. So this spiraled, completely my fault. I know the situation that caused this is stupid. And I started to genuinely have a panic attack. Crying, couldn't breathe, pacing around. At this point it wasn't related to the question but the sheer confusion of the situation. I explained to him why this was happening and that it's not about the answer itself and that I just don't understand why he does that, especially if he can see my distress is building. And he said when he noticed I was actually upset he still refused to tell, so it would teach me to let things go. But it wasn't like that. It was a question to a game. What does that have to do with letting things go? Or maybe I'm way overthinking it. The thing is, this really affects me. I don't know if it's because I'm a sensitive person, but it doesn't come across as playful to me. Especially with more serious situations like saying he caught me in a lie, etc. The lie one has been bothering me for weeks since I honestly have no idea what he's talking about. Am I completely off for being upset by these things? If this is on me I'd like to know, since I just want to avoid freaking out over something so small again. Run. You are in an emotionally abusive relationship. To teach me to let things go. He's the kind of manipulative asshole who will punish you to teach you a lesson. Also, he's training you to not trust yourself. Maybe he's trying to gaslight you and break you down until you don't know what's real anymore so he can control you. Maybe he just likes seeing you hurt and panicked. That's torture. He likes seeing you suffer. That's not love. There is playful teasing that everyone enjoys. This isn't that. He is just a dick. Your boyfriend is a manipulative twat waffle that gets off on your emotional reactions. GDFO out. He is abusive. Time to dump him. Honestly, he sounds like an immature douchebag. It's totally fine for couple to like to mess with each other. My boyfriend and I do it, but we don't upset each other with it. It doesn't sound like he respects you and you deserve to be treated better. He is a 2-year-old. Dump him for not respecting your wishes. Your boyfriend is a jerk and a bully. He's messing with you to gain a sense of superiority. You don't need that in your life. My 30F long-term boyfriend, 35M, doesn't believe in marriage, and I don't want to leave him. Too long did not read. After being together for almost 12 years, I want to get married but he does not. Things are going great right now and I don't think much will change with marriage, so it feels stupid to leave him over this because I love him. I, 30F, and my boyfriend, 35M, have been together for almost 12 years now. I told him at the start that I didn't want to think about marriage until we were both graduated from college and got our careers. Well, it took a lot longer to accomplish that than I thought. We've been living together for almost our entire relationship. No kids. I go back and forth on if I want one child or not. He said he doesn't want any kids, but sometimes he brings up what we would name our child or how we would parent it together. Marriage is very important to me. My parents have been together for over 40 years, my sister and her husband for over 10. His parents divorced before he was old enough to even remember them being together. None of his siblings are married. His sister has been engaged for years but swears she'll never get married. He says he doesn't believe in marriage, and in the past when we talked about it he said things like, "Do you know how expensive it is to get a divorce?" I told him no one plans on getting a divorce before they're married. We're happy together, and he calls me his life partner. We've been through so much together and been together for so long that I can't see much changing if we get married other than our taxes. We don't plan on combining our finances because we have a really good system of paying bills already. I don't think we're considered common law marriage since we've moved around to different states, and I believe you have to have been together for so many years in the same state. I told him it would be better for us to be married because of the taxes, and if something were to happen to either of us medically, we legally wouldn't have any say in what happens. It's also a sign of commitment to me, and I feel embarrassed to introduce him to co-workers as my boyfriend. It feels almost childish to say boyfriend and not husband when we're so serious, so I started calling him my partner. I also don't know what to say when people learn how long we've been together and ask me why we're not married already. He's been telling me for the past 2 years that he was going to propose this year, and that he already picked out a ring. But on a walk last week when I brought up marriage he sighed and said all annoyed, "I don't want to get married." You do. I'm only doing it because you want to. I don't want to force him into a commitment he doesn't want to make. He already suffers from depression. At the same time, this is really important to me. But everything is great how it is right now. It seems stupid to even think about throwing this all away just because of a piece of paper. The idea of starting all over with someone else scares me. I'm also scared if I don't stand up for what I want for myself, I'll keep waiting for him to propose until another 12 years has passed. Me proposing is out of the question. He said he would say no and wants to be the one to do it. I'm looking for advice or different perspectives on what to do. Should I throw away 12 years over a piece of paper? Should I just give up on the idea of marriage and keep my life as is? He does not want to marry you and he won't change his mind. Only you can decide as marriage is a deal breaker for you. But if as, you need to end it now. That is the only option if marriage is deal breaker. He has already told you that if he does marry you, it's only because you want to, and he's made it clear he will resent you for it. Marriage is very important to me. He sighed and said all annoyed, "I don't want to get married." You do. I'm only doing it because you want to. You don't waste another 12 years on someone that doesn't want the same things you do. You move on. You don't want the same things. Eventually you will resent him for you not having something important to you. If he doesn't want to get married and you do, then you leave and find someone who wants that too. You can't change people. Period. This won't change over time. He has told you no marriage, and that isn't a challenge. There is literally nothing in the world that you can do to change his decision. It is his choice, not yours. So you either change your own mind and live without being married, or you move on. None of his siblings are married. His sister has been engaged for years but swears she'll never get married. He says he doesn't believe in marriage, and in the past when we talked about it he said things like, "Do you know how expensive it is to get a divorce?" He sighed and said, all annoyed, "I don't want to get married." "You do. I'm only doing it because you want to." He is telling you he didn't want to get married. Believe him. He will stretch the proposal as long as he can, maybe only get engaged to you to keep you entertained. But he is not going to marry you. At 35, after being 12 years in relationship, anyone know whether they want to get married or not? He is telling you over and over again. Listen to him. Decide on children because you don't have unlimited years to go, and that's a huge dealbreaker. You can wait another 10 years for a ring but not for a child. I would be more concerned if you want to actually have children together or not. You can always do some kind of ceremonial thing which can have a special meaning to yourselves, with or without rings. You've got a painful, but simple decision to make. Which do you want more? To be with him, but unmarried, or married to someone else? I had a similar decision to make before my husband and I got married, and in the I wanted him more than a marriage. Marriage is just a piece of paper, okay, and so is a birth certificate. So are taxes, so are bills. You can even argue that money is just a piece of paper, because while it is, we hold value to these things. They are meaningful to us. Judging from the whole thing I've read on here, it's highly unlikely that he's gonna propose any time soon and stringing you along until someone much better to his liking comes along. It always happens. Men know if they want to marry you max 3 years. My 28 male girlfriend, 25 female, hooked up with another woman. I, 28 male, have been with my girlfriend, Rachel, 25 female, for 8 months. It's been a mostly great relationship, but she's struggled with issues like her last ex, 29 male, being emotionally abusive and them almost never sleeping together. So she's wanted to explore her sexuality with me, which I've been more than happy to do. One thing includes a curiosity about girls. I have a platonic friend, 27 female, who has talked with us about meeting up next month to explore things together. However, this weekend Rachel went to see her old friend Morgan, 26 female, who is visiting in a hotel. It was supposed to be a girls' night, but my girlfriend texted me at 10 p.m. saying Morgan invited a man to the hotel and they made Rachel sit outside while the two hooked up. That happened once already last time Rachel went to visit her. After which I told her that sounds like a terrible friend to make her so uncomfortable, and it made me uneasy too. Then Rachel stopped replying, and 5 hours later at 3 a.m. she texted me, "Please don't be mad, but I kinda got roped into going down on Morgan tonight." I was confused how to feel because my gut reaction was it's different than if she had done something with a man, but it still felt like cheating and was a breach of trust. She insisted that nothing else happened and that Morgan's man friend wasn't involved even though he was still there. I told her I need time to process it and she begged me to not break up with her, said she regrets it and loves me and wishes she asked permission first. It's upsetting, on top of the fact I think her friend is gross from what I've heard of her behavior, never met her, and I now wonder about STDs etc. She said, "I'm sorry. You know I was curious and an opportunity presented itself," which seems like a flimsy excuse especially since we had something similar planned already. It's been 4 days. My girlfriend wants to meet up to talk and I told her I need more time to consider things. She just got tested today but it could be a week before she gets results, so even if I stay with her I wouldn't even want to kiss her, which seems terrible and a constant reminder of what she did. It's very uncomfortable. We had a good relationship before this and I agree with her I don't want to throw it away, but it could be hard to see past this. Too long did not read. My curious girlfriend hooked up with a woman without my approval and wants to stay together. I was happy before this but don't know how to continue on past this. Not looking for a moral judgment, but any insight could be helpful. Thanks. Edit. Forgot to include a key element. She confessed to me in the past that she cheated on her ex once because he refused to ever sleep with her, so she slept with someone else once and felt terrible about it. The sexless relationship and abuse was well established to me before she told me that, so I believed her and told her I wouldn't judge her because she felt trapped and sought intimacy. But now that she's essentially cheated on me without those issues present, it has me thinking about the fact that she's done it before too. It's hard to believe it was not a threesome. Gimme a break. And then she has the nerve to say, "Well, you know I was curious." As if that's some sort excuse. She should be your ex-GF. So your girl ate out her friend for hours and another man was just there. Think about how realistic this scenario sounds, like long and hard before considering getting back with her. Your girlfriend cheated on you. Don't let her minimize it because it was with another woman. Don't let her sweep it under the rug. You did not agree that she could do whatever she wanted with whoever she wanted whenever she wanted. She cheated. Also, in your position, I would be very suspicious that she had sex with the man as well. I think she's trickle-truthing. I'm really sorry, pal. Regardless of the sexes of the participants, she cheated on you. She had sex with someone else that wasn't you without discussing it with you first. Consider. How would you feel if she did the same thing with a man? And why is this feeling different? 5 hours? My man, you know they rocked a threesome all night. The crying "I'm sorry" act is just so you don't dump her. She's not ready to be in a relationship, she's not ready to care for anyone other than herself. If you stay with her, she's gonna fuck you over again, just bounce, man. They had a threesome. What do you think the guy was doing while she licked the other girl? No one touched her and she just licked her friend? Lol, no. I don't get how these guys stay and believe the half-truths. Maybe 'cause I am old and seen things. Man. Penis was in her 100%. Time to roll out, my dude.